Hey there, this is a short video for summer term School of Tomorrow students, but anyone can get some value from this, I'm thinking. It's not about, like, did you pay your tuition and get into my school? Because I don't have a tuition and it's not something you get into. It's well, you can get into it in the sense that, hey, I'm really into it, but you don't register or enroll. So is it a school? Well, more like maybe School of Fish, right? I'm not going to quibble. I call it the School of Tomorrow. And a lot of it's about asynchronous, partially overlapping scenarios. Now, what does that even mean, right? So here's a metaphor where the different colored, you can think of this as a water slide, and you can think of the different colors as representing scenarios. And without getting into too much detail, like the price, this costs a lot, really. No, actually, this. Anyway, you can switch between them. So don't think of yourself as trapped in any sense. Now, that's just because, why did I say all that? Because what we do look at a lot here is called synergetic geometry. And one thing we talk about, now here's a caveat. When I show a product like I'm about to, it's not because they're paying me or even know that I exist or anything like that. So I don't think of this as promotional. I was just walking down the dog aisle at Walmart we got something else, me and my friend, the farm guy that I was hanging out with. So there wasn't a pre-plan to find this item, but there it is, Quado. And why do you think it excites me in particular? Well, because once I open it up, which I will have done by the next video, I will have a wonderful teaching toy to wave around in my presentations and talking about quadrate coordinates, which is very topical with me. Okay, and that's what I wanted to just wrap up with, is that educational toys, it's going to be up to you in a lot of ways if you're a presenter. So the people in the School of Tomorrow are on their way to being presenters or are already presenters, but that doesn't mean they have to brand exactly the same way, each of them or whatever. But see who's using my slides out there, right? That's one way to check if they have done their homework, as we say. Vis-a-vis School of Tomorrow, right? And you may have contributed to that curriculum already. Even if you're not out there doing my slides, you can see in your slides that I've taken in stuff I've gotten from you. So there are a lot of people who've helped with the presentation who aren't out there doing the presentation. So don't get too confused about branding and stuff like that. Like whether you're in or out, it's not that important actually. But say you want to have toys and say you're invited in person, say, to a venue and you want to have things to share. This was kind of a hallmark of Bucky Fuller when he was doing his own presentations of his own material, right? He had a lot of show and tell items. And so that makes sense that he would, if you know what we're talking about. So I'm showing this toy, this thing made of mites and couplers, half couplers, actually whole couplers. Let me get out a coupler here. See, mites make a coupler, and that's what we call a coupler. See, you can see why I want to hold something. Even if this is very unfamiliar jargon to you, you can see why, oh, wow, it's useful to have something like this for show and tell, obviously, right? Another thing that's really useful is to have like a transparent tetrahedron of some kind that you can fill. So like with liquids, okay, but also we do sphere packing. Now, so does everybody else, right? It's when I do sphere packing, I'm not saying like, oh, only the Bucky people do sphere packing. A lot of people do sphere packing. And this is a little bit random, so it won't be as dense as it could be. How dense could it be? And questions like that. I can spill them if I want. I have spilled this thing. But if I spend the time and put them in very methodically, I can get what's called the CCP packing, which is, in our jargon, we tend to talk about the IVM a lot. You'll hear us say, well, we usually just say IVM, but stands for isotropic vector matrix. And I'm pretty sure Fuller was thinking how 3 capital letters works when you're going from XYZ to IVM back and forth. Like, I don't know his thought process, but it's lucky, let's say, he came up with IVM for something that looks a lot like XYZ. Now, do you know what XYZ is, right? A skeleton of cubes that fills space forever. That's what we call XYZ scaffolding, you could call it. And in closest sphere packing, you get something more like this. Now, I wanted to say the farm I was at, where we found at the Walmart the Quado. Where did I put the Quado? There's the Quado. So when I was down at the farm with the Quado and found the Quado, I was also looking at a museum where many more examples, or a few more examples, not that many actually, of C60, which is a subtype of flextegrity, exists, because the inventor of it is the one who has the farm, right? So he's compressed that old chapter of his life. He one time had a gallery here in downtown Portland. It was a pop-up gallery, we called it. It wasn't permanent, it was just a show and make a record of this material. And clay, you're going to find is useful. Clay, you can roll it into spheres, and those you can pack. You can do other things with clay. So I order clay sometimes, and then again, specialty toys. This one, you could call it C60. You could call it Buckminster Fullerene. You could call it a hexapent. It's hexagons and pentagons, but each section can be taken out. Now, can I find this toy again? If I lose this toy, do I know where to get another one? Maybe not. I haven't taken it apart, and I'm not going to take it apart, but each panel has a vertical bar with a magnet tip, and there's one ball bearing at the center of this thing that holds all these panels together simply by magnetic attraction. And it would be fun to take it apart, and you probably wish I would, but hey, I'm just saying. Get some toys and go find my slides. I'll put a link called The Deal with the Decks. If you go, you'll be able to find some Google slide links and work backwards from that and think, oh, I could jump in and be a presenter of this material. I'll just have to master the material. And that's what my website does. That's what the School of Tomorrow is here to do, is back you up in that way. Provide you with all those materials that you need. Anything else I want to show? Spooky ball. All right. Talk to you again.